This is really overwhelming for me, and I'm honored to be with you. I come with the pain from Gaza. Gaza was always a place that I love to go to, and I hope soon I will be able to go back to Gaza. In the topic we are talking about, the difference between the Israelis, the Israeli army, and the young people in Gaza, the Israeli army studied. The Gazans learned. There is a big difference between learning and studying. Studying, you are a slave. In learning, you are the master of your understanding, of your meanings, of your thinking, of your actions. And this is the meaning, to me, of wisdom. There is no wisdom within studying. There is wisdom within learning. And it's too bad I'm not going to be able to elaborate on this, but I was born in Jerusalem in 1941, so I am older than the state of Israel. And I was born in a house in Jerusalem, which my mother and her three sisters worked for more than 20 years sewing clothes and built it. And the British came and gave it as a gift to the Zionists. The house that I was in, that I was born in, is still there. But of course, there are people who came from Europe and live in it. For me, since at least 40 years, I have not done anything called scientific research. But I have completely searching all the time. Now, searching comes from with two words. The two words are tafakkur wa ijtihad. In Arabic, I happen to be from a Christian Palestinian Arab family, but for me, the Arab Islamic civilization is our hope. And the heart of this civilization is wisdom. And the meaning of wisdom is, it doesn't have a universal meaning. It's something that appears only in our actions, in our relationships. So my conviction is without wisdom, there is no hope for humanity to survive. And it is interesting, there is no Arab country, there is no Arab university that really takes wisdom as its essence. It is completely normalizing with the Euro-American tribe in academia. We are slaves. And the idea of wisdom goes with hospitality. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad was known for its hospitality. Not hospitality in the sense of giving food and a place to sleep, but hospitality of different ideas, interacting, nurturing each other. Wisdom is mutual nurturance. And mutual nurturance came with conversation. The Arabs never used the word lugha. Al-lugha al-um, mother tongue, is to me the worst invention of Europe, because the mother tongue means the mother that you are a slave to, rather than you own it and you really live it. So in this sense, they did a very malicious thing. They replaced the tongue, al-lisan, by the eyes. Now, all universities, in schools, the tongue is almost non-existent. The eyes are. So the language is never talked, is never conversed, is not something alive. So it is very important that somehow we reclaim the tongue in our education. Because the eyes, we say in Arabic, basar. Basar is seeing. Basira is much deeper. Basira cannot come from the eyes. It comes from the tongue, from conversations, from interaction, from saying what is in your heart. So the idea of replacing, I mean, I can't really believe how much harm Europe has done. And we think of Europe connected to science and the mind, but I think Europe degraded the mind. And I always tell this story, or this example, that if you go to a shoe shop and you try a shoe, if it doesn't fit, they don't change your foot to fit the shoe. But in the mind, we squeeze the mind so that it will fit the curriculum. So the mind is degraded. Europe has never respected the mind. They respected the mind only in terms of helping it dominate, helping it make arms, helping it to corrupt. There is so much corruption in the world due to the science that was created in Europe. And this is not a secret. Francis Bacon, who is considered the father of modern science, said it very clearly. Science is subduing and conquering nature and shaking its foundations. If we look at the world today, this is the science that is dominating. It is a science that degrades the mind in the sense that it makes it a servant to domination, and it degrades the wisdom, which is the essence of our civilization, our common civilization, which is the Arab Islamic civilization, that was very hospitable to anyone who really enters a home of wisdom. Homes of wisdom from Asfahan to Cordoba were active. No one was saying, oh, I am at the top, I am better than the others, all of this, like QS. There is no Arab university that takes wisdom as a compass. They take QS as a compass. You know what the QS is? The number one this year that got this title, highest, the first in the world, is MIT. And if you look at the details, I have them in front of me, what are the subjects that they really consider as a very high quality? They are all connected to domination. They are all connected to arms. They are all connected to control, to corrupt. Sometimes the word Arabic is the one that is dominant in my mind. So corruption, the corruption of everything that is able to regenerate itself. Everything that regenerates itself has been corrupted. And so we are in a world that is really very, very dangerous for humanity to stay. And probably if humans are going to stay, they will be dehumanized to a point that you can't even recognize the humanity in them. So what is wisdom? Wisdom is something like wild plants, something that makes you feel very good. It's healthy. It's healthy for the body. Wisdom is like wild plants that are healthy for the mind. And this healthy dimension in life is totally wiped out. There is no university in the Arab world, and probably in the whole world, that has really wisdom as its compass. There are two universities that I know of that call themselves homes of wisdom in the Arab world, but they have completely, they are completely subjugated to the dominance of the West. So I studied mathematics, and I taught mathematics for many years, and I was supposedly, they called me very intelligent and this and that, and they gave me degrees and jobs. But actually, I discovered through my mother, who did not know the alphabet, that I was a hypocrite. I was succeeding as a hypocrite, which means I say things that are big, that seem really very much important and so on, but they were not part of my life. The math that my mother knew was completely in her hands, in her imagination, in his mind, in her mind, in the piece of cloth that she was sewing for a woman. It is really very frightening how we do not see this, how we do not see that the enemy of the Euro-American tribe is the mind that is connected to wisdom. That's why they wipe out wisdom completely. We do not have to have this wiping out, because there is so much richness in our cultures, in our civilizations, and we should really reclaim that wisdom. As I said, I'm 84 years old. I worked with so many groups. Actually, in 30 years, I did not talk with a big audience like this, because since that time, I was working with mujawara. Now, I have written a lot about mujawara, and mujawara is made of people who really want to be together, and there is no hierarchy inside, there is no hierarchy from outside or authority from outside. They do what really feel that they love to do. So I worked with mujawaras. So this is a new thing that I have done maybe 30 years ago, but not before. I think that at least I know the Arabic language, the richness in the Arabic language, and I will, as I promised some people that I met here, that there are about 15 words in Arabic that I see them the heart of reclaiming mujawara, reclaiming wisdom, and one of them is mujawara. The other is muthanna. In English, I don't know about Turkish. In English, there is one and there is many. In Arabic, there is one and there is muthanna, two, and there is many. To me, the muthanna is such a beautiful word in Arabic. And the way I explain muthanna is, against Descartes. Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. Muthanna is, you are, therefore I am, which means the relationship with certain people that make one's life so lively is the muthannas. For example, between me and my wife, it's a muthanna. It has been a muthanna for 60 years. We met 60 years ago, and you are, I tell her, you are, therefore I am. And she tells me, you are, she is what she is. So the idea here is, muthanna is another word. But the word that really I find amazing in reclaiming wisdom is a statement, قول للإمام علي. قيمة كل امرئ ما يحسنه. قيمة كل امرئ ما يحسنه. The worth of a person is what he or she does well, is beautiful, is giving, is useful, is respectful. All these are in the word yuhsan. So I always tell schools, they don't sometimes think that I'm in my own consciousness when I say it, but I tell schools, please, one thing we can do, we can change the education quickly and so on, but for every student, maybe at the level of 7th or 6th grade, even earlier, 4th grade, for every person, every student, to start thinking about what he or she yuhsan, what every one of them does something from his or her heart. They do it beautifully. They do it with giving idea, with useful aspects, and respectful. So I say, let the day of graduation, they get this artificial certificate, which is useful in the world of consumption, but also they give themselves, each one will give himself, herself, a certificate about what that person yuhsan. It is possible that he is a storyteller, and he is practicing that storyteller. That is his worth, not the grades that he got in academia. It is very important to bring in words that have been made invisible, and they are connected to living wisely. As I said, I will leave with a group that I know or I met, about 15 words in Arabic that I feel they are very crucial in reclaiming wisdom in our lives. There is this, I don't know how much time I have, but one of the people who really explained the role of education is Macaulay. Now, Macaulay is a British officer, and he was sent to India in 1835. And the government told him, there are millions of Indians, so we want to find a strategy how to control them, how to govern them. And this is what he wrote in his writing about his strategy. This is Macaulay. The first thing he said was how retarded we are, and especially Arabs and Indians. This is in his. Then he says, we must do our best to form a class who may be interpreters between us and the millions whom we govern, a class of persons Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, morals, and intellect. We have to educate them. He defined the education in 1835. A class who are Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, morals, and intellect. And this is, I think, most of us who studied in universities, including our own universities, where we are Arab or Turkish in blood and color, but our thoughts are completely, at that time, English, British. And the way to make us that, to remain Arabs and Turkish in blood, but our minds English, that was his interpretation of or meaning for education. So we have to be very careful. And it means that every one of us has to tafakkur, I think in Turkish understood, tafakkur is used. Tafakkur is different from tafkir. Tafkir is thinking, and you can solve problems and you can do whatever you want through tafkir. But tafakkur is something very special, which means like tanafus. Tanafus, no one can do it except yourself. Tafakkur, no one can do it except yourself. So you have to really, every day, try to reflect, ponder about what you go through, and make sense out of it, and make bayan, expression. There is no really word, a good word for bayan in Arabic. The Arabic word bayan is amazing. Expression, express, etc. It's much weaker, because with bayan, it's a whole book that Jahiz wrote about 1,200 years ago. The three words that are basic in that book are tabayyun, bayan, wa tabiyin. For me, these are, again, at the heart of understanding, and they are at the heart of being wise. Wisdom is our hope. How can we slowly and surely, all of us, start really exchanging experiences that we feel we have dealt with them wisely. So wisdom is something like tanafus. Everyone is responsible for adding to it, for deepening our understanding of wisdom. There is a lot I can say more, but I will stop here, and thank you all for being kind to listen to me. Thank you.